What is up, gamers? Staxwell's back at it again today with another market watch. Whole lot to talk about. Crazy stuff going on the market. Particularly yesterday, TCG Player had a 10 to 13% sale, depending on like what TCG Player Gold, Platinum, Fortnite Battle Pass, Premium Pass thing you had. Um, that and Outsiders hype is still here. People are still buying out cards in anticipation for Outsiders. So a whole lot to talk about. No Raid Shadow Legends ads, no kind of ads, no Squarespace, no Audible ads. We're just gonna jump straight into the content here. Snatch has been moving pretty heavily. Longtime fans of the channel know that this is one of my favorite cards to talk about. I talked about this, I swear, for like my first 10 market watches straight. Particularly the unlimited foil Snatch from WTR. When I first started this channel just a couple months ago, it was $1. Now for the cheapest copy that's not destroyed is $7. Then it quickly, well, there's only one copy for 7. Then it jumps to 850, 850. Pretty firm at that price, 850, $9. Snatch is one of the best cards in the game, I think, one of like the best generic cards in the game. So this price is warranted. If we look at other cards that are similar, like Sink Below foil from the same set, same rarity, Sink Below is like $15. So to see this at 8, I still think it's a little bit undervalued. Yeah, I think it'll go up moving forward, particularly with the supply of WTR completely dried out. You can't find it in LGSs or anything like that anymore. It's just gone, which I think is good. It's been available for long enough. I think it's about time a set dries up, and these cards like Foil Unlimited Snatch can start becoming collector's luxury pieces. So I kind of like it. Scar for a Scar, same lane, $7 for the Unlimited Rainbow Foil. So it's almost the exact same talking points as Snatch here. There's 2 for $7. They quickly jump to 9. I hope my viewers could get these $7 ones. Scar for Scar is great in a lot of decks. Almost every aggro deck, almost every, well, not, I won't say that. A lot of decks use it. Icelander uses it. Briar uses it. Ton of decks use it. Great staple generic card. And the price point I still think is a little bit too low when compared to things like Sink Below. Remembrance has gone pretty crazy as well. This is the non-foil copy of Remembrance. It is about $7, $6.50 actually, sorry. But quickly climbs up, and again, that's the non-foil. But if we look at the foil, it's like $10. And I think for a super rare, that is super cheap. It just depends on... I actually didn't mean to do that pun, super rare, super cheap. I'm sorry for that. That was a little cringe. But yeah, I think this is very cheap. I think whether or not you buy this kind of depends on you hedging your bet. Do you think that this card is good enough for LSS to address on the banned and suspended list one day? I personally don't think it's that strong. I don't think they'll ban this card. I could be wrong for sure. But if you agree with me and you don't think that this card will get banned, I think that this price point is very cheap, particularly for the rainbow. I think the non-foil is a fair price, but this one is too cheap in my opinion. Toma Fendal rainbow foil got bought to a crazy level. I think I got mine for like $20, and that was about a month or two ago. Let's just check actually. Hold on. Rainbow Unlimited, view sales. So yeah, the beginning of the month it was like $30, and now it's been bought out to the $50 price point. Totally warranted. I think this card's broken, and I think it's only going to get more broken with time. Eventually, they're going to print more and more things that give you additional action points or manipulate action points or make actions instants or things like this. Unfound, unprinted synergies will, continue to allow Toma Fendal to be good and playable moving forward for years to come in Flesh and Blood. I picked up a play set. I think that this price point is, it's still honestly, I think cheap. It's also a collector's, card. It's a generic foil from the first set. I think all of these kind of cards will just be money one day. Snapdragon Scalers, I think, is one of the ones that is too cheap. So we kind of talked about cards that kind of got bought out and are maybe a little bit on the expensive side. A couple of cards that I still think are good pickups, I still think are too cheap. One of them is Snapdragon Scalers. For the rainbow foil, it's only like $5 right now. Yeah, $5. Let's see, look right here, $3.50 plus $2 shipping. You could pick up all 3 of them for like $11. I think it's way too cheap. Snapdragon Scalers, I think, will be good for the foreseeable future. A generic legs that gives go again. I think there's so many heroes that are not even printed yet that are gonna like this card. Yeah, too cheap. Pummel's another one. It's a rainbow foil played in half the decks in the game, and it's $2 from the first set, $1.50 from the first set. Like, it's just too cheap of a card. I think this card should probably be around the $7 price point. Good pickup. Flick Flack, I think, is another good pickup, particularly when we think about the next set. The guys at the MNR podcast kind of mentioned this card as well. It's at worst, it's like kind of like a sync. It's a 0 for 4 D react, but at best, it also gives you +2 additional block for your Katsu deck or whatever. And the rainbow foil, let's check here, is 50 cents. So I think that's a pretty good deal. I think that's a pretty good pickup for a card that could be good in the next set. Crouching Tiger, the Marvel. We talked about this on the last Market Watch, and you filthy animals bought it to like 2x. If we take a look at the sales history here, I made a video on the 19th, and it was $22, and now it is up to the $50 price point. So congrats to everyone who bought that. I guess I don't, I can't imagine it's worth this price point. But I'll talk about it again. I do think that this is the direction that they're going to take Katsu moving forward, and maybe even Benji as well. So this whole new set, I don't think they're quite done with the Crouching Tiger mechanic, and I think they're going to continue to print synergies on this. So that's why I speculated last week that it was a good pickup. This price point, I'm not so sure. Kind of just take that information and do with it as you will. Death Dealer last week was $80. People are gearing up and getting ready for the Ranger stuff. Now it's $100. And we talked about this last week as well. I think Sandscour Great Bow is the better of the two bows. 160 last week, now it's 175. I just kind of highlight these to show you guys that people really are gearing up and getting ready for that new set, and people are also taking advantage of those TCG player bonus bucks and just kind of making everything go up. It's a total trend right now in Fab. I think the popularity of the game is exploding at the moment, and the market totally reflects that. Almost every card upticks every single week. Every card in Fab kind of upticks. So a lot of my predictions here are like, oh, you should buy this. It's going to go up. Well, every card's going up. So it'd be hard for me to be wrong on anything. So, kind of take everything I say with a grain of salt. Harmonized Kadachi, the cold foil, got completely bought out. There's only one up here, and it's $1,000. Obviously, you should absolutely not buy this. That's not worth that price at all. I think even the seller knows it's not worth it. Just kind of throwing it up there as a weird flex. Last one sold for $200, or sorry, two of them sold for $100. So yeah, the Kadachis are also getting bought out now. Ninja was the last thing to kind of have people look at it. Ranger got a lot of hype. Assassin got a lot of hype. And now it's Ninja's turn, finally. But yeah, both of the Kadachis got bought out. The cheapest cold foil for the other-handed Kadachi is $335. I also think that this one is way too much money. I wouldn't buy either of these. Maybe check around at your locals, see if someone wants to hook you up and sell it to you for the price that it last sold for, maybe like 100. But yeah, just kind of bring your attention. Both these cards are gone. Celestial Kimono. I think this is one of those long-term future spec cards. If you look at it, like it's a good card. It gives you a mana pretty much every turn that you'll be using during your opponent's turn. With the ward mechanic, we could assume from Dynasty that the next Illusionist is going to lean heavy into this ward mechanic. So this is super speculative. I just think that this card is, one, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, take a look at it. And two, it could definitely be good in the next Illusionist. And, I think it's worth considering a pickup. The cheapest cold foil Briar on the market is $80 right now. I think that this is a really good steal. Sure, Briar's about to LL. But if we look at the other LL'd heroes, like Chain is $100, and Prism is multiple hundreds of dollars, and I think Briar could join them in that same price point. So especially if you're a Briar player, don't be afraid to pick it up just because it's LL'd. I don't think once it LLs, this price is going to drop at all. I think this is as cheap as it's going to get, and if you were thinking of picking one up, I would say don't be shy to. Ancestral Empowerment for the non-foil, I still think is too cheap. The cheapest on the market, they're about $5 right now. And if you look at the other, like the Ranger Majestics and stuff, like 3 of a Kind's $10, Deadeye's $10, Remorseless is $20. So why are the Ninja Majestics not reflecting that same price point, especially one from the very first set? I think it's just too cheap. Yeah, $5, and the Rainbow is $18. I think that's kind of expensive, but still, WTR Alpha, or WTR not Alpha, but like first set foils, of course they're going to be money one day regardless. Ghostly Touch I think is too cheap. Like I kind of mentioned with the robe here, The new illusionists are coming, and I can't imagine they're not going to play Ghostly Touch. Ghostly Touch is just a great card. $20 for a legendary card. We should just be having our eyes open at just that price point. But not only that, I think Ghostly Touch is a good card, and I can't imagine they won't play it. Dromai even plays this. I don't understand how it's so cheap. Spring Tidings kind of got bought. I won't say bought out. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, and it was like $1 or $2 for the cheapest rainbow. Now the cheapest rainbow is $7.50, and the cheapest non-rainbow, like just regular, is like $3 or $4. Um, yeah, I still think it's a good pickup. It's a Majestic from Everfest, and fans of the channel know Everfest Majestics. Every time they're playable, they just go crazy in price. Think Swing Big, that was like a $20 card at one point. Think Teklo Pounder, that was like a $15-$20 card at one point. Rain Razors is currently a $15 card. Every time there's an Everfest Majestic that's playable. Swarming Gloomveil. I could go on and on, but I'm just going to stop there. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, subscribe, and help the algorithm help me out a little bit. Thanks for watching.